So let's start with oil. We're slightly higher on WTI, but we're not managing to push up to 49. Brent, meanwhile, pretty flat. What's driving prices today?
Well, I think, one, everybody's taking a deep breath from the weekend. And then if you want to start looking at the real numbers which matter to oil, which are the supply and demand numbers, we are seeing small upticks in expectations for demand, and supply may be leveling out. Obviously, the non-OPEC members have to be more compliant, I think, and expectations for whether they're going to maintain these cuts beyond their predetermined March of 2018 is yet to be heard. But so those are the things that oil is looking at right now. But ultimately, you've also got this little skirmish going down in Venezuela with the political unrest down there. That is also going to have an effect, especially if the U.S. starts upping some of their sanctions as far as supplies go. So a lot of things up in the air for oil right now, and it's kind of waiting for some resolution, I think.
Yeah, and we're also kind of waiting for it to fall towards its 100-day moving average, on WTI at least. Does it get there?
Well, I think we saw the big move up, obviously, when we got the supply numbers in late July, and that really is what spurred a lot of this this oil talk of near $50. I do think we will get a modest pullback here, especially if the economics don't back it up here in the States. I'd like to see greater global demand. We are hearing it's going to be coming out of China, and that still could happen. But ultimately, the supply levels aren't going down fast enough, so demand has to pick up in order for oil to kind of increase north of that $50, which has been very elusive at this point since OPEC put their production cuts in place.
Yeah, another thing that's been elusive, Todd, is that 1,300 level for gold. So we've seen gold approach that back in April, back in June, didn't quite manage it, and it hasn't quite managed it this time. Yet you've got VTB Group saying that in the next 3 months it could climb to 1,360. Could it?
I certainly think that gold has a lot of upside here. The main issue with gold is that when you have these geopolitical moments that we're seeing, like the buildup last week ahead of North Korea this weekend, gold doesn't pay you to hold it. So when you get past the event, it typically sees a little bit of fallback with the idea that, yeah, we can go back to buying stocks, or if need be, if it's going to be a longer term insurance policy, we can go to treasuries and at least get paid. So I think on these modest pullbacks, it certainly comes when the moment passes. Now, looking longer term, if the dollar continues to go back to its trend of lower, weaker dollar versus the rest of the global currencies, that is going to aid gold. Likewise, so is the uncertainty with the Fed. The Fed right now, we've seen expectations as high as 75% they're going to raise rates this year. Now it's probably around 35%. That is going to help gold go higher. And certainly once you get above 1,300, as you aforementioned, that we have been there a few times this year, it's going to exaggerate the move a little bit once we get above it and get a settlement there.